Alright guys, so I'm gonna watch Terminator 2 in 3D. I'm very excited. It got remastered in 4K plus 3D. Yep.
This is your home, your car, your memories, and you want to be sure they're protected with home and auto insurance.
Alright guys, so I saw Terminator 2 Judgment Day in 3D. This was one that I was kind of debating whether I should do a movie day and a review for, because this movie has been out for a very long time and I mainly just review movies that, new releases in theaters. But this movie got re-released, remastered in 4K and in 3D. Okay, I'm gonna be quite honest with you guys. I've never seen this movie. And I've seen chunks of it when I was younger, but that's about it. I did a thing over the summer where I watched many movies that I've never watched before, and this movie would have definitely been on the list, so I would have watched this movie over the summer till I heard that they were gonna re-release this movie, of course, remastered and in 3D, so I just decided to wait and make my first time seeing this movie in theaters. I'm probably the last person ever to see this movie, but we all know what this movie's about. It's Judgment Day, and it could ruin our world and kill all of us. So the Terminator goes back in time to save John Connor, and we all know what this movie's about. Before I saw this movie, the only Terminator movies I saw were the first one and Genesis, which is the most recent one. And the third one, I've seen parts of too, but I just never really gave a shit to finish that movie. And for Salvation, I never gave a shit to even watch that movie. And now I see why Genesis is hated on, because I guess there is a lot of things that this movie, or Genesis, takes away from this movie, and I see why Genesis is technically a bad movie, and I really kind of actually enjoyed Genesis. And watching this movie for the first time in 2017, and just looking at this movie, looking how kind of cheap and cheesy the effects were back then, it's still kind of cool to see a movie like this on the big screen. And yes, the effects do look silly when you compare it to all the CGI we have now, but it's the best that they had back then, so it's acceptable. I'm not gonna bitch about the CGI. This movie came out in 1991, and I was just entertained throughout this movie. Of course, towards the end of the movie, there is a scene where I thought that the movie was about to end, but then it just kept on going, and it just kind of dragged it a little bit for me, but I was very entertained. I mean, who doesn't like seeing Arnold as the Terminator kicking ass? Kicking ass in 3D. Now, I'm not just here to talk about the movie because I saw it for the first time. Of course I'm going to talk about it, but I'm also here to talk about the 3D, because it's the reason why this movie got re-released for the 3D, and why I've been waiting to watch this movie in theaters. As for the 3D in this movie, now this movie was post-converted in 3D because it wasn't filmed in 3D, obviously, when it came out back in 1991. And if this movie were to come out for the very first time right now in 2017, then the 3D would have been in mind during the production of this movie. And this movie, it's fucking awesome in 3D. Now, I'm always very skeptical about 3D. I used to watch 3D movies a lot in theaters, so I realized how much of a ripoff it could actually be, because literally you're just gonna wear glasses just to see effects either pop at you or get the depth of that object. But I'm really picky when it comes to 3D now, and this is a movie that I was kind of picky about, because not only was it post-converted, but I'm not sure if this movie would have been a perfect match for 3D. The thing that really concerned me about the 3D for this movie is that I was afraid that this was going to be one of those times where you watch a movie in 3D and it's unnoticeable, there's no 3D whatsoever, and you forget that you're even watching the movie in 3D. And no, the 3D really works here, most notable around the action scenes, when, you have the Terminator and that other T-100 or whatever chasing down John Connor and his motorcycle. That car chase, you have the cars coming, if the truck hits something, that object pops at you, or whenever we have the Terminator using his shotgun, it literally, like, the depth on that gun is right up in your face. Maybe you have an explosion where the explosion is popping out of the screen and you actually feel like it's, like, again, right up in your face. And that's what I love about 3D. I love when 3D could actually make me feel like the object is, like, right there close to my face. And that's something that this movie does perfectly well, especially for a movie that was never intended for 3D. Again, if this movie were to come out in 2017, then it would definitely be intended for 3D. But for a movie that wasn't originally planned at all for 3D, this is fantastic. It's really hard to find a movie that I could recommend 100% to spend an extra $5 to see in 3D, because like movies like Spider-Man Homecoming, I couldn't exactly recommend in 3D because I think that you would have been good watching it in 2D. But after watching this movie in 3D, I just want to watch it in 3D from now on, like every time I watch this movie, because I definitely recommend this movie 100% in 3D. I think this definitely deserves your top dollar for the 3D production, so I'm definitely going to say that 3D here is most definitely worth it. The last time I recommended a 3D movie 100% was back in May with King Arthur, and everything else I just saw in 3D in theaters, I just couldn't exactly recommend like 100%, but this is one that I could definitely, you have to check this one out in 3D. It's such an experience. Not only is the movie awesome, but the 3D was great as well. And as for my actual thoughts on the movie, I'm gonna give this movie an A, and a 9 out of 10. So that's basically my grade for this movie. I had such a blast seeing this movie for the very first time last night. And anyways, have you guys seen this movie? Who am I kidding? You guys already saw this movie years ago. Have you guys seen this movie in 3D? By the ways, the 3D version of this movie is only at AMC theaters, so I'm sorry for those of you guys who go to Regal or Cinemark. If you want to watch this movie in 3D, then you gotta go to AMC, but whatever it is, it's gonna be really worth it because, again, the movie's great, the 3D is great, it all pays off in the end. What other movie do you guys think that they should re-release in 3D? I think Back to the Future 2 should be in 3D. It's probably just me. I think it'd make a great 3D movie. But anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.